Welcome to the March edition of ThunderTech's monthly marketing series, Good Morning Marketers. This month, search engine specialist Joshua Matthey and ThunderTech's president Jason Therian discuss tactics for learning more about your target audience.
So, obviously, discussing the target audience, the importance of target audiences in marketing, and you've got a saying.
Yeah, there's a West Point saying that's referred to as the 7 Ps, and the more appropriate way of saying it is that proper prior preparation prevents pitifully poor performance.
Wow.
And basically,
One more time with that.
proper prior preparation prevents pitifully poor performance.
I liked it.
And what that means is, if you want something to go smoothly, if you want things to produce the desired result, you have to take time off the front. You have to say, what's the problem we're trying to solve? Who are we trying to reach? What do we need this person to do? What do we want them to see? What do we want them to think? What do we want them to figure out for themselves when they come to our website or read our brochure or read our email or read anything?
Yeah, and that's I think a great point, because so many folks get caught up in, well, what does it look like, and this is what I want, versus am I the target audience or not? And I think one area that we'd love to see more of is that data collection, simple surveys or polls or however it is. Clients and potential clients, you can never have enough data on your target audiences.
I agree, but you can also have data that's not quite appropriate to what you need, and you need to structure your data appropriately. You need to make sure that when you're asking these survey questions that you don't have to ask 1,000 different questions. You can focus on 2 or 3, and just as long as you're phrasing things properly and as long as you're asking what needs to be asked, then the data you're going to get is going to be more valuable than someone who's just going to give an incredibly long survey that people might look at and get bored with, or just get fed up with, or just get sick of filling out and just kind of create answers that are just off the cuff or just not even meaningful.
So once you have that data, again, at least succinct data to start with, then what? I mean, obviously, messaging is a very important piece.
Well, messaging it's very important, but it's figuring out who you want to message, what you want the message to be, to who you want the message to be directed at.
Right.
So what are your thoughts really on?
Well, I guess first area that pops in my mind is email marketing. So a lot of clients will send big blasts out to their entire audience and not take enough time to put those audiences into chunks. So there's a lot of times where your product mix or your geographic mix, or again, depends on the client, will mean things to different people, or times of the year, or whatever it is. And that's when you have that data on somebody, the mom versus the engineer, somebody in Cleveland versus Chicago, you can give them what they're looking for, what appeals to them more. That's pretty much the same thing.
Kind of like creating a landing page, basically, where if let's say you're doing Cleveland marketing versus Chicago marketing, and you want to appeal to the Chicago crowd, so on the specific landing page decided for the Chicago market, you mentioned Chicago landmarks, so you appeal to them from a very almost like a we're local, like we understand what you look for and what you look at, versus Clevelanders who might see things completely different.
Again, understanding the audience to drive home that particular message to what appeals to that particular audience. That's where you get the bang for the buck.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
If you had just ruined my GMM, you'd be in trouble.
Like you were somewhere near the ceiling, that would catch my eye.